Hello everyone. Welcome to the our course Environmental Studies. Our course code is 22447. This lecture is conducted by Mr. Y. Pawar from Mechanical Department, and this course is for the second year diploma courses: Production Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, Civil Engineering, and Electrical Engineering. In this lecture, we are going to see unit number 3, biodiversity and its conservation. For satisfy our topic, we are going to see our course outcome, that is conserve ecosystem and biodiversity. Our unit outcome 3 is threats and hotspot of biodiversity. So let's see what we will learn today. Learning objective or key takeaways for today's lectures are: students will be able to understand threats to biodiversity. Our content 4.5. First one is threats to biodiversity, and second one is hotspot of biodiversity. This is the concept map of today's lecture. Threats to biodiversity. First one is habitat destruction. Second one is threats posed by exotic species, poaching of wildlife, genetic pollution, and last one is climatic change. And the hotspot of biodiversity in that we are going to see the Western Ghat, the Western Himalaya, and the Indo-Burma region. What are the different types of biodiversity are there? So let's start our today's lecture. Threats to biodiversity. So before going to that threats, we must know what is the meaning of biodiversity. Biodiversity is a term used to describe the variety of life found on Earth and all the natural processes. In the biodiversities, they are all biotic, that means the living things, and all non-biotics or abiotic things are considered. In that, all kinds of ecosystem, different types of species, their connection with each other are formed in the biodiversity. So let's start today's topic. What are the threats to the biodiversity? During the last century, worldwide economic growth and population increase is putting enormous pressure on natural resources. Everyone knows as the population increases, the demands like food, shelter are increases. So the tremendous pressure is we are putting on our environment, because as the population increases, there is a increasing pollution, but natural resources are the constant and they are degrading day by day. This leads to erosion of biodiversity all around the globe. Scientists are now believing that the rate of species losses is greater because increasing the by increasing the population, the deforestation is overpopulation, deforestation is going on. There is huge pollution. There is environmental like global warming, acid rain. Such kind of habits are going on. Because of that, there are too many species. They are in endangered categories, and some of them are totally vanished from the particular ecosystem or biodiversity. There are various factors that take the biodiversity. We're taking an example. Chair Diamond describes an evil portrait of habitat destruction, overkilling, introduced species, and secondary extinctions for speedy loss of biodiversity all around the world. For example, we are understand by taking an example in fishing. Because of too much overkilling of the sharks, some species of the shark are in coming in endangered species, and they are very few in numbers are left. The most authoritative clarification of the IUCN's clarification of direct threats, it is adopted by most major international conservation organizations such as the World Wildlife Fund, Conservation International, the US Nature Conservancy, and BirdLife International. Some are the institutes who are trying to conserve the biodiversity. So, what are the different threats to the biodiversity? Here are some threats like overpopulation, deforestation, pollution, and global warming. So we are going to understand how these threats are. So first one is overpopulation. What's happened because of the overpopulation? Everyone knows now the Earth has approximately 700 millions of human population, and to more than 700 millions of human population, but the capacity of Earth is 900. Okay, so there are huge pressure on our environment to provide food, to provide shelter, to provide water. Because of that, all the environmental parameters get disrupted. Like for the purpose to meet the food. That's why because of there is a over demand of the food. Because of that, deforestation is taking down. Because of that, there is huge pollution, and because of the population, there is a global warming, acid rain, ozone layer depletion, like things are happening. Never-ending requirement of land for rapid industrialization, urbanization to accommodate overpopulation are the reasons behind the destruction of plant and animal habits during 1000 AD to 2000 AD. Rise the rate of extinction are being driven by ever increasing human consumption of organic resources. More than a third of the Earth's biomass is tied up in humans, livestock, and crops. Factors contributing to loss of habitats are overpopulation, deforestation like. All these factors are due to overpopulation and produce of cumulative impact upon biodiversity loss. We need to limit climate change or wind up with lots of species in trouble, possibly similarly jaguar is extended from India, tiger is endangered species in India. Likewise, there are systematic relationship between the area of a habitat and the number of species it can support. Large bodies and species living at a lower latitude or in forest or oases are more sensitive to reduction in habitat area. Large species like a large body, living in oceans like sharks, whales are endangered species because of overkilling. According to Dr. Richard Lakow, if any one type is removed from the system, the cycle can break down and community becomes dominated by a single species. Suppose we know there is a food chain, and at the time of the food chain, the topmost part of the food chain, animal food chain is tiger or lion. If we overkilling the tiger and lion, what's happened? The chain breaks, and the another species becomes super dominated. Okay, that's why we have to conserve our ecosystem and biodiversity and maintain a food chain. The Millennium Ecosystem Assessment 2005 has marked freshwater ecosystem as the most threatened. In previous lecture, we understand by taking an example why the freshwater ecosystem is more threatened because of water pollution, because of huge industrialization, overpopulation. The wastewater is directly without treatment, directly sewage water directly we put into the river. Because of that, the oxygen level in that water is decreases. Because of that, all the species depends on that aquatic or the aquatic life get destructed. Another one is threats posed by exotic species. The widespread introduction of exotic species by humans is a potent threat to biodiversity. The biodiversity exists today across many parts of the world because of its separated from other species by physical barriers like large rivers, seas, ocean, mountains, and deserts of other land masses. Because of oceans, large rivers, desert, okay, human species are separated from each other. These barriers are tough to the cross by natural processes, except through continental drift. But human transportation systems like air, water, and land have brought endemic species into contact with others. which never made the evolutionary history. When exotic species are introduced to ecosystem and establish self-sustained populations, the endemic species which are not able to cope with these exotic species are not survived. We have understand by taking an example. Suppose we took a penguin and kept in Mumbai. It is a very low chance that it will survive. Okay, because its growth and its development for a particular region. If we transfer that, it will not survive. Its growth and development will be suspended. Another one is poaching of wildlife. Despite numerous laws and legislations placed on the papers, wildlife has always been under threat of poachers. They kill animals for their bones, teeth, skin, hair, and other body parts. We read some kind of news in newspapers or see on the televisions that some people are get arrested because of killing animals. Market are forcing on these animal parts. Lions, elephants, deer, peacocks are mostly targeted for their skins, for their teeth. White Bengal tigers. These are the some kind of endangered species in India. Another one is genetic population. Genetic population is defined as uncontrolled hybridization, introduction, and genetic swamping of leads to homogenization of replacement of native species as a result of either a numerical and or fitness advantage of introduced plant or animal. It may occur purposefully by humans or through habitat modification. In genetic evolution, we can understand that, for example, human does a hybridization on the boiler. Okay, because of that, lots of production we get. This is nothing but the genetic population. It gets more benefits. Human do a hybridization process. The phenomenon may be determination for a rare species coming into contact with more abundant ones. The abundant species are interbreed with rare, swapping the entire gene pool and creating hybrids, thus driving the entire native stock to complete extinction. So those are the habitat destructions. And last point is climate change or global warming. This phenomenon is puts a major role to fix the global biodiversity because of increase in the temperature, acid rain, global warming potential. We can see the different unwanted parameters happen to the ecosystem and biodiversity. For example, coral reefs, which are the biodiversity hotspot, will be lost in 20 to 40 years if global warming continues at the current trends. Climate change is the reason behind the most frequent observed melting of polar ice caps, floods, and drought in various regions across the globe. This natural climate is also causing big loss to biodiversity. Because of increasing temperature, many forests take fire. Recently, we saw the news in the newspaper or watch on television, Amazon fire, Australia bushfires. Those are the few examples of climate changes. Similarly, same situation happens in the South Africa as well as in India, in Bangalore. The underground water level is goes very below, or sometimes it is impossible to get water from the ground. Because why? Because of the climate changes. Now we are going to see hotspot of the biodiversity. The important and representative hotspot of India are the Western Ghats, Eastern Himalayas, and Indo-Burma region. This is a Western Ghat image. This is Eastern Himalaya, and this is the Indo-Burma region. Those are the most sensitive region on which the environmental impacts are we can see easily. So let's start with the Western Ghats. The Western Ghats are the mountain series that run along western edge of the peninsular India. This part receives high rainfall. This region are rich in moist forest and rainforest. The region shows high specific diversity. Nearly 77% of the amphibians and 62% of the reptile species, as well as high level of endemisms. Along with the Sri Lanka and region also shows some funnel similarities with the Western Ghat region, for example, purple frog and Sri Lanka lizard genus Niasa, found in the Western Ghat. Western Ghat means same what the Sahyadri Parvat is also known as the Western Ghats. Another one is the Eastern Himalayas. The region is geologically young and show high altitude variation. The region covers area of Bhutan, northeast India and southern, central and eastern Nepal. It has nearly 163 global threat species, including one-horned rhinos and wild Asian water buffaloes. It also houses 45 mammals, 50 birds, 17 reptiles, 12 amphibians, 3 invertebrate, and 36 plant species. Dragonfly is an indigenous species found here, with only other species in the genus being found in Japan. And the last one is Indo-Burma region. Here we can see the image of the Indo-Burma region. The region border of India, Indian political boundary and extended to the northwest states of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, and includes the Andaman Islands. Surprisingly, the region has provided new mammal species including Arunachal macaw, introduced to the science in 2004, the Laotian rock rat, and the Bougainvillea cilia. The Khasi Hills tour is known for the just few locations within India. So we know we need to hotspot conservation, takes hotspot conservation initiatives to prevent the degradation of that biodiversity. So despite of great value of biodiversity, only a small percentage of the total land area within biodiversity hotspot is protected. Several international organizations to conserve biodiversity hotspots are Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund, also known as CEPF, Conservation International, the World Wildlife Fund, Alliance for Zero Extinction are some international organizations which takes initiative to conserve biodiversity. So, how to conserve biodiversity is a big challenge in front of us. In response to loss to biodiversity and its after effect of the fate of humanity over the earth, biodiversity conservation has become an international political issue. All measures for controlling deterioration of various elements of environment like air, water, marine system, and landmass will ultimately serve the purpose of biodiversity conservation. In fact, the conservation of biological diversity is a global priority and conservation plans are to be designed to engage public policy and concerns affecting local, regional and global scale of communities, ecosystem and the culture. If we do not conserve that spot of the biodiversity, then it is possible some of these species, there are different types of reptiles, mammals, going to extinction, and this is a huge loss to our biodiversity. If we change, if we break the food chain, then we know what are the effects of the breaking food chain to the environment. So let's see the objects of conservation of the biodiversity. The first objective of the conservation of biodiversity is to catalog the genetic resources and national biological inventories to be prepared so that the threatened and endangered species may be protected against extinction. So we know that to killing the tiger and wild animal is an offense in India. This is one kind of the law to prevent the biodiversity. Another one is no undisturbed land should be used for developmental activities or urbanization. Because development of township and shopping centers, use of forestries for fuel, and use of swamps for paddy fields leads to loss of biodiversity. There are to be better population controls, especially in near poor nations. Also, high yielding agriculture systems should be developed so that preservation and sustainable exploitation of biodiversity go hand in hand. The rich countries should provide massive assistance to meet these goals. Effective measures should be framed and legalized for conservation of biodiversity in all countries. The conservation of biodiversity includes in situ and ex situ conservation steps. Ex situ methods focus on species conservation in botanical garden, zoos, genes bank, and captive breeding programs. In situ methods, use conservation areas as warehouse of biological information. Many scientists and conservationists feel that in situ conservation should be the primary means of biodiversity conservation. So, what are the advantages of situ conservation and these disadvantages we are going to see in next lecture. That's all in today's lecture. Thank you.